Man, what is up, YouTube? I am just doing a video today. Got up, got some coffee in me, feeling good. I was hearing a video about talking about our past lives and how stupid we are. So, I probably need a couple parts of this because I did a lot of stupid things as a kid, and I'm gonna tread a little bit lightly because, yeah, for a reason, but. For what crazy story when I was a kid, man, and when I got caught up. I try to look back to any news articles and stuff, because they shut down the whole highway to take us all, and it was like with federal marshals. It was crazy, man. But I'm gonna get into the story as a kid, man. I got hella hooked on ecstasy, on drugs, and I was living, surviving, going from hotels, chilling with people. So, all right, let's get into my crazy story as a kid. 100% real. So, growing up as a kid, I was not good at school. I hated school. I didn't want to go to school. I mean, it just is what it is. I was stupid. I never support that decision at all with my daughter now. So we fast forward to, about 14 to 15 years old, and I was smoking weed at the time, and I can't remember the first time that I touched a pill of ecstasy, but it blew my mind. It was something I was just really into. All the girls thought it was cool. It really started with the older people I was hanging out with. They would get it, and girls I had big crushes on, they would want it. So I was like, shoot, man, like if I can figure out a way to get it, all the girls will like me, right? Stupid thing when I'm 15. So all ends up in a crazy story. It's insane, man. So I go in and start using ecstasy, and stop going to school and start figuring out ways to survive, if you guys know what I mean. And I started hanging out with a couple of way older guys. So I was about 15, and kind of weird on their side. Their names were like John and Jeremiah, and I would hang out with these older guys and just chill, talk to older girls, go to older parties, all this stuff. Like I was like that one younger kid you see hanging out with other people that like, oh, that's my little brother, that tags along everywhere. That's what I was. So hanging out to these guys, I was best friends with my buddy Jeremiah, right? And Jeremiah one day, for some weird reason, right, he meets this guy Trevor, really solid dude. And pretty crazy. I spent a lot of time. I don't think his real name was even Trevor, but he gets with this dude Trevor, and Trevor picks him up in a taxi cab and has a lot of something. We'll just say that. And he said, if you ever need some, hit me up. I'm doing it good. I got you. So Jeremiah comes back and says, hey man, like I found a guy that we can get what we need. The girls will like it, we can survive in what we do and keep moving forward, keep pushing. I was like, bet 100, and I never knew that what I was getting myself into was going to happen, So me, when you start to get around people that are in a lifestyle, they like to have juveniles on their side, right? Not for inappropriate behavior, right? But say a juvenile can do something, and if he gets caught, right, he's not going to get as much trouble as an adult. So that's just kind of gives you an idea where I'm treading lightly, but I'm applying what my story entails of what I was doing. So we meet this guy Trevor at a hotel, man. Big, huge dude, African American, hella cool, man. Like, oh man, it was crazy time when I first met him, man. And he's like, yeah, I got you. And ecstasy, I got it. I was never a person that could see hundreds and hundreds of that kind of stuff. That was, at the time, they were like $10 each. I was a kid. I wasn't making, So I didn't even think of it. So there's another guy that comes in, right? Straight biggest claiming gang member I've ever seen. Like straight up, like gang member straight up wearing blue Crip, blue bandanas, hella cool. His name was B. He was a very crazy Crip, man. I was in the game for selling a lot. This treads into the crazy story. It's really crazy and sad, man. So I meet B, Trevor, and they just took a liking to me, or I knew how to make a lot of money. I knew a lot of people from a rich part in Colorado and Westminster, and I knew that that people would like what we had, and we could make a lot of money off it. So basically, they were like, "Bam, man, you're coming with us under your wing." So I transitioned from hanging with these guys to these all-time crazy guys, and it was intense, man. As a kid, I started carrying things that could have gave me life, as a juvenile, and I started seeing crazy weapons on these guys. I would see like a Desert Eagle, a huge pistol on the side, like never thinking in my mind that we ever need to use it, And then I would see like these brass knuckles, right? They were like gray, but they had like tasers on it. It was crazy. It was like the most craziest weapons these guys would have. And B would sit there literally with a knife, like around his neck, and he would claim like, "Oh, I hate guns. Like I've been robbed. I don't like guns." So he would just do things straight up with. It was just an intense time. So we're straight up just living out of hotels, hustling, doing it right. You know what I mean? So let's fast forward, right? This is how stupid I am, right? I have a way to have things of hundreds and hundreds of money beyond what I could make at the proper time legally, especially at 15, right? So I get a call, boom. "Hey, so-and-so, I need, this and that." I said, "Bet, man. All right, I'll meet me here." You know what I mean? So this I'm not kidding. This happened both on the same day, right? So I'm sitting in the back, right? I got this big, huge gangbanger Crip guy hanging, blue bandanas, not thinking, no one's that stupid. And I got another guy named Bobby, super huge. We're driving around this like little 2-door GTI, pretty crazy, right? And dude comes to the window and just like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "All right, hop in." He's like, No. And then I should have had a red light, like boom, red light, right? But of course not, because I'm like, that dude ain't gonna do nothing with these two guys. That's crazy. He ain't doing that, right? But hey, man, I give it to the dude, right? So the dude said, "No, I got," flashed open his wallet, and I was like, I looked at my bigger dudes, they were around, at the time I was 15, they were about 20. So I was like, shit, they're that stupid. I don't think he'd be that stupid, It was only worth like, man, it wasn't that much. It was like $30 of what we paid to like the 120 that we, And this is the last time I've ever technically been robbed. But dude, B's like, "All right, cool." Hands it out the window. Dude books it. Bang! And like, I'm young at this time. I'm green, right? Like, why would I do that? You know what I mean? Like, I more gave it to the dude. The dude had the balls to run and dip, like as he could against these guys that were scaring the, I would not mess with, So I'm in the back seat of a GTI 2-door, and my boys go like training down this dude. And then when I peek out the car, I'm just a little dude. I'm the one who kind of gets stuff. So like I said before, and they're chasing, and boom, there's a car open, this car door open, and gets in the car and dips, and my boys come back, and then it wasn't that much money, but it was just the principle, you know what I mean? So this is where the story starts getting crazy. So the dude that was doing everything, right, calls my buddy Trevor and was like, so-and-so got that. I got on the phone, I'm like, "Dude, my bad. Like, I didn't know dude was going to do this." He's like, "It's all right. We're going to get together. I'm going to go find this dude." And whenever this happened, I don't know what could have happened because I ended up finding out stuff about Trevor, which would made him very dangerous. So what would have happened, like could have happened that night, because they were more possible of dangerous actions that I came to find out, right? So comes out of nowhere, man. We're driving down I-25 in Colorado, and the dude right in the front right has 100 pills on him, like 100 pills of ecstasy. Driving in a car, nothing wrong, B has a couple ounces of weed stuffed in like cereal boxes. Pretty crazy, right? And we're driving, right? And then we look around and there's no cars on the highway, all right? So we're like, huh. And then 2 white cars come behind us. Boom, boom. And then they just rush us. Boom. Federal marshals all over us. Closed down I-25. Got us all out. Looked like a freaking SWAT with feds everywhere coming out. Guns, dogs, weapons, everything. And we're just like shocked. Like, I didn't know Trevor had huge felonies from California and federal felonies, for assault, robbery, stuff, and selling drugs. So it's pretty crazy. It's really sad, but so Trevor gets stopped, right? We all 4 get stopped. And what I remember is, like, in my head, I'm counting the cars because I'm just like, there's this many freaking cars, like cops, you know what I mean? So they get over an intercom and they say, like, when you going through something like this, you have to get out of the car. So what you do, you say, reach your hand out, and they got spotlight shining, seeing if you move. So during this time, Trevor takes 100 pills and eats them all. So he ain't getting caught with them, you know what I mean? And to do that is freaking crazy. Took 100 of these pills. He will die. He needs to get to the hospital. We're frozen in the moment, and that's what he thought. He knew they were coming for him. The feds were after him, right? So we get out of the car, and I look back, and there's literally like 5 cops, or they would wear like black vests and everything, holding German shepherds like in a line, and these dogs with like the spit grabbing out. And the biggest one was a guy holding like it wasn't like an AR, but one of those like automatic rifles that they carry with black gloves that would be holding these rifles straight at us. Like if any of us tried to make a move, like, we were dead. I have never seen Operation Sting like this. It was intense, especially as a kid. And I'll tell you the crazy part, right? So when you get in a felony stop, they tell you, reach your hand out, open the door, walk the door, take your hand out, take a step back, laying straight on the floor. Boom. And then they cuff you. And you lay there till all 4 of you are cuffed. And at this time, like, I actually had like 20 like Vicodin pills in my pocket, right? And this was nuts, bro. And they did not care about my pills. They were after dude. So later to come out, Trevor gets arrested, and they're like, do you know his name? I said, he goes by Trevor, don't know. They're like, oh, well, blah, 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 he's wanted for this and that, that's not his name, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know, all right, like, whatever. So they reach in my pocket, they find these pills in this bag, and I found out why I was let go that day, right? B, the big Crip gangbanger, he was a snitch, 100%. I later would find out when Trevor would post his bond, find his federal cases beating him up, that, B got caught up with drugs, and they offered him a bargain to, help me catch someone bigger here, and we'll let you go. Really, really cold-hearted, man. So we're all getting arrested, and they just want Trevor. Trevor tells him straight up, I swallowed 100 pills. I'm going to die, Like, you need to take him to the hospital. They freaking do, bro. And this man, it was just so crazy. Like, we're all separated, questioned, blah, blah, blah. Don't know about him, don't know anything. They just want the big fish, you know what I mean? So The bill's in my pocket. They know I'm a juvenile. I said, no, I'm holding on from my mom. I got them from my mom. I just don't have them in the bottle. And my mom did me something very solid, man. She picked up the phone, and they were from my mom, right? So my mom talked to a federal marshal, and the cops were saying, hey, we got Scott right here. You know, he's been hanging out with this huge person that's wanted, you know, in America with really bad charges. You know, he has these pills on him. And she's like, yeah, they're mine. He was holding them. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to let you guys go. And then they have the dog search the cars, and I should have got a red flag from this. Like, B would have his ounces of weed in the cereal, the dog would check it, and then didn't find it, which I thought it was weird. I was like, Fruity Pebbles can't scent out weed, you know what I mean? That's not possible. So we get released in the car. We're freaking out. Trevor was like the base of the house, you know what I mean? He was like our main dude. I was a youngster. I was young. I didn't know what was going on, right? So Trevor gets immediately evacuated to the hospital. And we rushed over to the hospital. I have no idea how my people knew the hospital, but it would later come out that B was a snitch. So B, me, and Bobby walk into the hospital, and there's a federal marshal sitting with a tie, nice suit. Says, hey, I know you guys gave him the pills. I know you guys have the pills. They're like, we don't know what you're talking about, dude. You know? And I didn't know how serious this was during the time, but I was literally could have been sentenced to life in federal prison charges as an adult with all this stuff. And if we wouldn't have been stopped by, we're gonna get to the people that robbed us, you know what I mean? So I don't know how it would have ended up. So later down the line, Trevor's girl and stuff is talking to him on the phone. We go actually to his court date to see him at the federal place. And at the federal one, they come in all these orange jumpsuits and a little TV, and they tell him what he's charged with. $1 million bond, you know what I mean? Like crazy. So we leave. And me and Bobby start getting pretty cool. And B, he had a big problem with like uppers, right? We did not want dude around us. At this time, we didn't even know dude told on everyone, you know what I mean? We didn't like dude would be on those uppers, be seeing a lot of things, be hallucinating a lot of things, be taking things way too far, right? So we would go up to end up dropping him off at his grandma's house, and we'd be like, yeah, we'll be right back. And we did. Boom. And then to the end of it just pretty much ended. Bobby went with me to my house. He had charges for like just felony stuff. And Bobby actually came from a house with a lot of money. So check this out. It was crazy. I'd be with Bobby, right? This is not a lie, bro. All this is 100% true. Bobby would get a phone call from his buddies, and they'd be like, oh, we know your dad. Come test out this Audi S4. And he would borrow like an S4 Audi for like a week. It was crazy. And during this time, like a lot of people, even good people with good jobs, were hooked on Oxycontin. You know what I mean? So he was very much the Oxycontin stuck in that game. So that's just a little backstory on Bobby. You know, me and him get really cool. He has charges. He's like, man, I want to go handle this. I'm going to go get this done. So in the end, I'm lost, you know. Trevor gets to the federal pen, you know what I mean? B, later find out he's a snitch. So luckily we weren't hanging out with dude or doing no more, because we just couldn't handle it. It was too crazy, you know. And then Bobby was going to turn himself in to go to jail. So how it wraps up to finding that B and the stupidity and the craziness that I went to, it was I got back and meeting my friends Jeremiah. They said, hey, Trevor posted his bond, you know what I mean? The $1 million bond. His mom put up a whole house for surety to let him out. So go up and we go see Trevor, and tells us, you know, B was a snitch. He was a snitch? What do you mean? Like, dude's been telling the whole time. So basically, they offered him out, and he took it. So he came down, and when we were leaving, told them when we were leaving, had the whole operation set up, and it was so crazy and so messed up. The dude that was doing the most, Trevor, yes, he had some things against him, but B was doing the most, man. He was turned up, you know, plus 10, you know what I mean? He was turned up, going crazy, making money, making moves, doing all this stuff, and then he ends up getting caught, and he flips like a bird, bro. So The biggest thing when I learned as a kid, man, and that's why now alive, like very much paranoid, don't like getting with people, is because, people will do this stuff, man, but they don't like the consequences. A lot of us do, but, you do the crime, you need to do the time, you know what I mean? And you don't need to flip on anybody to get yourself out of a get out of jail free card, you know what I mean? So, never saw B after that, man. After we just ditched him at his grandma's house. Bobby, didn't see him long after that. I was a 16-year-old kid, living the high life, girls, money, all this stuff, and out that, after a federal sting operation, I was taken, and I think, they could have charged me with stuff and stuff, but they knew, like, people kind of call you like a mule, right? Or like a person that basically will just run things as a juvenile so older people won't get in trouble. And that was what let's just say that's what they probably viewed me at, was just a young kid, you know what I mean? They already had the older one that could give them, information and all this stuff, and, they got Trevor, and long after this whole situation, I don't know, Trevor dipped out on bond. I don't know, I haven't seen him for years, you know what I mean? But, I met him a long time ago, and after that situation, he told me what happened. So, it was crazy. I learned a big lesson after that, man. It was like, basically, you can't trust anyone. Second thing, do your life legally, because in the end, it always, like Jay Williams says, always ends bad. Ain't nothing gonna work out, and you're gonna straight up, you're gonna get locked up. You can't live that lifestyle forever. I've tried. I've been with people that have tried, and they're always better. They always end up coming down. You know what I mean? So, and that was crazy too. Probably the most gangster person I viewed, the real gangster person that I viewed, and which went hard, would fight, drugs, money, anything. He turned into an informant. So I took that and kept messing up and stuff, went to prison and stuff like that, and then I changed my life and haven't seen anyone since. But as a teenager, that's a real true story. I was by the feds, I-25 on Colorado shut down, everything, man, and my boy had his stomach pumped for 100 pills to get out of his stomach. It was nuts, bro. It was crazy. And what I just take from the story is definitely just live your life, man. Like, everyone has skills, everyone has a purpose, and you can find it, you know what I mean? And you don't have to everyone has a skill set too. You just got to figure out what that skill set is, A lot of us do grow up on the wrong end of the stick, you know what I mean? And it affects us to the point that, we want to make quick money and easy money. But we got to understand the repercussions, you know what I mean? So, much love. If, Trevor, I don't know what happened. If you ever see this, man, hit me up. You already know. Bobby, don't know what's up with you. Hope you're okay. Hit me up. B from Littleton, don't hit me up if you see this video. But, you know what I mean? I don't know. This may not go too far, but I just want everyone to stay positive, man, and earn what you have, or stay, man, and live your life, man. And you try to live that life, the consequences are going to come. So much love to y'all.